Hush is another entry in the home invasion subgenre of horror, except this time the protagonist, named Maddie Young, is deaf and mute, and crucially, a horror author herself. She lives alone in relative seclusion with only her friend and neighbor Sarah nearby. We don't get much information at all on the man stalking Maddie, other than he likes to use his hunting skills, a knife and crossbow, to torment and kill people. We're introduced to him early on as friend and neighbor Sarah runs to Maddie's house and bangs on her sliding glass door for help. Sarah's currently being stalked and attacked by this random homicidal stranger. Now obviously Maddie can't hear Sarah banging on the sliding glass door, but she did tell Sarah earlier in the film that she can feel the vibration when sound is loud enough. Clearly that's Sarah's goal as she's frantically banging on the glass of the sliding door and the windows, but it's all for naught. Maddie doesn't notice any of that commotion at all, and Sarah finally meets her end with a final stab. The killer does notice Maddie, however, and upon realizing she's deaf, decides this deaf woman would make a perfect target for his truly awful hobby. Eventually, Maddie is made aware of him, and he taunts her. He cuts off the electricity to the house, he steals her phone, he slashes her tires, and he effectively traps her in the house by circling it, watching all the doors and windows to see if she tries to make a run for it, meaning he has eliminated any chance for Maddie to call for help or to escape. His goal seems to be to make Maddie hopeless at her situation, but really what it does is put Maddie in a situation where she realizes there's no chance of escape or calling for help, so her only real option is to get him first. The movie is really smart about the ways it helps get us in Maddie's head, doing things like cutting the audio at key parts so we know a little bit more about what her perspective looks like being deaf. Before the night is up, Maddie not only shows off her ability to traverse the parts of her house very quickly and quietly, but also her extreme first aid skills, and even gets to develop and show off some skills using his very own crossbow. But what really helps her in this situation is that she's a writer, and when she thinks of the options in front of her, she's able to imagine the possible outcomes and come to the best conclusion. The filmmakers even have a little fun giving us a couple fake outs, showing some of the outcomes that she's imagining from the choices she has in front of her. This movie is really fun to watch. It's got some really great action. It's thrilling. You really want her to get this guy. There's even a few moments where there's some twists that are unfortunate for the characters involved, but do make for great cinema. Most importantly of all, the ending is very, very satisfying and is set up right from the very first moments of the movie. 31 Days of Horror is entering the final third of the month, which means we're getting closer and closer to Halloween. So if you dare to join me in watching these scary movies, the list of films I'm watching this October is in my pinned videos. Until next time, try not to confuse solitude and quiet with safety.